All right, y'all. Part 2, the Undisputed. This is Undisputed Part 2. We're going to start off with just a tad bit of history. I'm doing a whole nother video on what I'm about to speak about with the belts and the inaugural titles. But this is Part 2 Undisputed. We're going to give you another little left hook, right, straight, and keep it cool. All right. So, the NYSAC, NYSAC, was founded in 1920. The WBA, well, really it started off as the NBA, was founded in 1921, and then it later became the WBA. The WBC, the World Boxing Council, was founded in 1963. The IBF, which is the International Boxing Federation, was founded in 1983. God bless the 80s. The World Boxing Organization, or the WBO, was founded in 1988. And the American boxing magazine that we all come to know and love, The Ring, was awarding world and undisputed champions since 1922. Great day, y'all. Praise the sunshine. It's bright down here. All right, the criteria. Now, y'all check this out. The criteria changed, like we were saying in Part 1, from era to era to be the undisputed champion. All right, so from 1920 to 1963, the criteria that you had to complete or qualify for to be the undisputed champion were you had to hold both the NYSAC, the New York State Athletic Commission, and the NBA, which is the National Boxing Association / WBA, titles simultaneously. That's from 1920 to 1963. Now, 1963 to 1983, a boxer had to hold the WBA and the WBC title simultaneously. I.e., if you had both those titles, you were the damn undisputed champ because those were the two biggest, baddest wolves with the most juice that, I guess had the biggest belts or prizes. And if you had both those belts, you were the undisputed champion. Now, from 1983, we're changing it up. Here we go. From 1983 to 2007, a boxer had to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously. Now, 2007 to present, to nowadays, to 2015, a boxer has to hold the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO titles all at the same damn time. Okay? Now, by 2007, all four of the major organizations recognize each other as qualifying bodies to be undisputed champions. I.e., these organizations basically bossed up enough, they chopped off enough heads, they had the most money, the most muscle to be the top alphabet belt dogs. All right? Now we're going to name all the last undisputed champions in every weight class. Now, by the way, I'm only doing the 8 original weight classes. We don't have time to do 17 to 19 and stuff. We're just doing the 8 original. All right? Now, the last undisputed heavyweight champion was Lennox Lewis, and that was in 1999. Last undisputed light heavyweight champion was Roy Jones Jr., and that was in 2002. Okay? In 2002, he lost the status after he vacated, those light heavyweight titles and went up to heavyweight and fought Ruiz and all them. The last undisputed middleweight champion was Jermaine Taylor in 2006. And in 2006, we all know he got stripped because he gave B-Hop a rematch instead of fighting some #1 contender dude. Can't remember his name. Last undisputed, now get this, the last undisputed welterweight champ was y'all boy, Super Zab Judah, and that was in 2006. Last undisputed welterweight champ was Zab Judah in 2006, and he lost that status when Carlos Journeyman Baltimore beat him. All right. Last undisputed lightweight champion was the man, y'all, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, and that was in 1992. The last undisputed lightweight champion, 1992. Half y'all weren't even born yet. Anyway, he lost the status in 1992 of being the undisputed lightweight champ when he vacated the title and he moved up a weight. And y'all might not know this, and you know what? This is probably why a lot of these boxers nowadays have alphabet belts, or they don't care for the belts, or they don't give a damn about fighting people with the belts, unifying titles, is because, for example, when Judah lost his undisputed, when he had all the qualifying belts for that era, when he lost the undisputed championship to Carlos Baldomir, now, Baldomir got the titles, but since he didn't want to pay the sanctioning fees, the WBA and the IBF didn't recognize him. So as a consequence, the WBA, went over, because he lost, of course, went over and recognized Judah as a champion, and so did the IBF. So it's, see, now we get into this confusion again. But again, it's politics and all that other stuff that tampers with the purity of boxing. The man was an undisputed champion. Carlos Baldomir beat the man who was the man, but how is he not recognized as the undisputed champion? Over some sanctioning fees. Anyway, politics. All right. The last undisputed featherweight champion was either Vicente or Vicente Saldivar, and that was in 1967. He defended his undisputed status, which at that time, in 1967, was only the WBA and the WBC titles. He defended it one time, and then he retired. But then, like most boxers, Saldivar came back 2 years later. He fought 5 more times until 1973. He won back the WBC title, so that means I guess he was like half the undisputed. But then the next bout he lost it. We never hear from him again. Now, last but certainly not least, y'all, this is one before the last. The last undisputed champion at bantamweight was Enrique Pinder. Enrique Pinder, and he's from Panama, and he was the last undisputed champ at bantamweight in 1973. Now, he was stripped of his title for not fighting Rodolfo Martinez. And you usually get stripped for not fighting the #1 contender or top 5, top 10, whatever contender, or you get stripped for not fighting the other best guy in your weight class or the quote-unquote other champion, especially in those days. All right, especially. Now, for whatever reasons, Pinder didn't do that. He was the undisputed champion. He didn't fight this dude that everyone's saying he's supposed to fight. Hence, he got stripped. So, and I wish they would bring that shit back. Lord, bring that back. And back in those days, you weren't getting away with, for whatever reasons, you weren't getting away with ducking. You wasn't getting away with dodging schemes. You wasn't getting away with no layoffs or fake vacation trips or retirements or injury ducks, none of that. Not saying anyone has done that specifically, but you just weren't getting away with that in this era. And that was in 73. He got stripped for that. All right, now, finally, but not least, last but not least, the 8th weight class and the first weight class, the final undisputed champ at flyweight was a Mexican brother, you know what I'm saying? Olale, arriba, Salvatore Burini. Salvatore Burini. All right, and that was in 1965. The last undisputed champ at flyweight was 1965. I wasn't born. I'm sure, I don't know if anybody on here was born by then, but long time ago. Now, all right, before I talk trash, let me do some math here. Do some math right quick. Let's see. All right, so it's been at least 9 years or more in every weight class where there has been no, I repeat, no undisputed champion. And only in one weight class has there been an undisputed champion in the past 9 years, and that's middleweight. Every other weight, it's been 20, 10, 30, 40 years since there was an undisputed champion. What does that tell us? What does that say about us in this boxing era? What does that say? Well, I'm going to let y'all form your own thoughts and opinions, but we should definitely be looking out for the next undisputed champion of the world. We love boxing.